The city laptop is 5 minutes slow. I am fully ready.
I just pressed record. Thank you.
All right. Good evening. The City of Boston Zoning Board of Appeal hearing for September 19, 2024 is now in session. This hearing is being conducted in accordance with the applicable provisions of the open meeting law, including the updated provisions enacted by the legislature last year. The new law allows the board to continue its practice of holding virtual hearings until March 2025. This hearing of the board is being held remotely via the Zoom webinar event platform. This hearing is also being recorded. In order to ensure this hearing of the board is open to the public, members of the public may access this hearing through telephone and video conferencing. The information for connecting to this hearing is listed on today's hearing agenda, which is posted on the public notices page of the city's website, boston.gov. Members of the public will enter the virtual hearing as attendees, which means you will not see yourself on the screen and you will be muted throughout unless administratively unmuted when asked to comment. Board members, applicants, and their attorneys or representatives will participate in the hearing as panelists, and they will appear alongside the presentation materials when speaking. Panelists are strongly encouraged to keep video on while presenting to the board. As with our in-person meetings, comments and support will be followed by comments in opposition. The order of comments is as follows: elected officials, representatives of elected officials, and members of the public. The chair may limit the number of people called upon to offer comment and the time for commenting as time constraints require. For that reason, the board prefers to hear from members of the public who are most impacted by a project, that is, those individuals who live closest to the project. If you wish to comment on an appeal, please click the raise hand button along the bottom of your screen in the Zoom webinar platform. Click it again and your hand should go down. When the host sees your hand, you will receive a request to unmute yourself. Select yes, and you should be able to talk. If you're connected to the hearing by telephone, please press *9 to raise and lower your hand. You must press *6 to unmute yourself after you receive the request from the host. Those called upon to comment will be asked to state their name and address first, and then can provide their comment. In the interest of time and to ensure that you have enough time to do so, please raise your hand as soon as Mr. Stembridge reads the address into the record. Do not raise your hand before the relevant address is called, or the meeting host will not know to call on you at the appropriate time. Mr. Stembridge.
Good evening, Madam Chair, present.
Good evening. Ms. Bettabraza.
Good evening, Madam Chair, present.
Good evening. The floor is yours, Mr. Stembridge.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Here for tonight's hearings at 5 p.m. We will start off with case BOA 1629400 with the address of 1-3 Central Plaza. If the applicant and or their representative are present, would they please explain to the board?
Yes, hi, representatives and Madam Chair. My name is Robert Cass. I'm just gonna click the video here. Okay, so yeah, nice to see you.
Good evening.
Do you want me to present now?
Yes, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
So, yes, yeah, the objective of the hearing today, for from our perspective, and I'll be representing my wife, Mei Cass, who is a licensed esthetician and does permanent makeup currently in Lexington, Massachusetts. So, the Sola Salon, which is located at 1-3 Center Plaza in Government Center, they're essentially the landlord. My wife, Mei Cass, and her business Pretty Chic is a tenant located inside of Sola Salon, which is right in Government Center. Sola Salon has over 700 locations. They're professionally managed. They're really a pretty good outfit. And my wife, Mei Cass, has graduated Catherine Hines Esthetician Institute for aesthetics. She also graduated from Pigmenta Academy in permanent makeup and microblading in Boston. She's been a practicing licensed esthetician in Massachusetts since 2018. She's been practicing body art and had her permanent in Lexington since 2022. So the type of services that she performs under the context, I guess, or heading of a body art or permanent makeup would be microblading, ombre powder brows, combination brows, lip blushing, not brushing, and permanent eyeliner, scar camouflage, and beauty marks. She's got pretty good reviews, generally 5-star. I included 2 reviews so that you
Sir,
can
what is there now?
read. What is that Sola Salon now?
Is it, so it's already serving that purpose and they're just wanting to add body art to the permit, is that?
Correct.
Request.
They have an existing, they're operational. They have their
Okay.
occupancy permit. Mainly it's, they cut hair. A lot of
Okay.
salons that cut hair and that sort of thing. Yeah. And then,
What hours are you looking for?
initially just 3 days, maybe like a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10 to 6. And then she has her existing business in Lexington, Mass. So she'll be doing 3 days over there.
Okay, great. Are there other questions from the board?
No, it's pretty straightforward.
Thank you. With that, may I have public testimony?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the board. My name is Eva Jones. I'm with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. Regarding 1 to 3 Center Plaza, our office will defer to the board's judgment on this matter. A community process was conducted, including the distribution of a subcommittee flyer on August 9th that ended on August 23rd. We received no feedback from any constituents. Additionally, the proposal was discussed with the local civic association, that was Wharf District Neighborhood Council. While the proposal was not in their catchment area, they expressed their support of the proposal and wish the applicant luck in their business. At this time, our office wishes to defer to the board's decision. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Okay. And Madam Chair, I have no raised hands at the moment. Thank you.
Okay, with that, may I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I find the use to be complementary to the existing use. For that reason, I would like to put forward a motion of approval.
Is there a second?
Second,
Mr. Stenbridge,
yes.
Ms. Better Brazza.
Yes.
Chair also votes yes, the motion carries. Good luck, sir.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Next, we have case BOA 1606999 with the address of 141 West Canton Street. If the applicant and or their representative are present, would they please explain the case to the board?
Good evening, Peter Bemis, Engineering Design Consultants here. I'm here on behalf of the owners, David Gorley and Tracy Donsky, and their licensed builder, Robert Walker. So I have an Exhibit 1 that you have in front of you there, the existing building. We're showing you the limits of this property. It's a town row home located in a district that obviously has undergone a lot of change over time. Property, and we don't comply with the rear yard setback with the improvements that are there. We are looking to not only reconstruct the existing deck that's there, but also expand it. We provided details for that expansion. The second exhibit shows the, can you advance to set? Thank you. Shows you the existing where the extension would occur. And the third exhibit will show you that extension detail. If you could advance one more slide, please. The third slide, this is showing the details for the construction documents. So this is a fully submitted building permit to your building department. This shows the details of how the structure would interact with the existing area to the stair that you come up. And the expansion of the deck, if you could advance a few more slides. We show the structural details for how the deck would be supported and then the rail system that's there. And the fourth slide actually shows the geometry in a sealed plot plan. So a surveyor's plot plan. One more slide. And that's the structural support. And then the exhibit 4 is the plot plan right there. And that is the plan that was used to support the building permit application. We applied to you for both a special permit and for a variance. Having not done this before your board before, I wasn't sure how it was handled in the building inspectional services department. Didn't say explicitly whether this was to be treated as a special permit because it's a pre-existing non-conforming property, or if they were viewing it as that we're expanding and therefore a variance was needed. I gave you supporting testimony for either. I'm not sure what's customary in the city of Boston for these properties, because basically our lot and all the abutting lots would have the same condition. So I defer to you folks, having applied for both, that you could then render a decision. We did complete a community review process. I know we had one abutter participate and had comments in favor of the project. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Are there questions from the board?
Just for clarification, the extension is really just 4 foot one.
For the setback to the rear
The
yard setback, ma'am?
extension of the proposed deck to the existing is really just extending it by 4 feet, correct? 4 foot one?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay,
Yeah,
great,
yeah,
thank
yeah,
you.
dimensionally
further
correct. Yes,
questions.
ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, with that, may we have public testimony?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the board. In regards to 141 West Canton Street, our office would like to defer to your judgment. The community process was held for this, and the abutters meeting was held on August 12th, where, as Mr. Bamus said, it was lightly attended and the constituent expressed support for the proposal. Additionally, it was also discussed with the local civic association, which was Ellis Neighborhood Association, where they expressed that they did not involve themselves in residential proposals. At this time, the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services would like to defer to the judgment of the board. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Do you have a raised hand here?
Ms. Toledano?
Yep.
Jessica, do you
Yeah.
need to unmute her, or?
It says it's joining, so I can't do anything, but I do have an iPhone user. Yeah, is that the same person? iPhone user, I sent a request to unmute you.
Yes, that's me. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
I should have asked to be added as a panelist, but
Oh, no worries. Yep.
good afternoon, Madam Chairs and members of the board. This is Laura here from Constable Flynn's office. At this time, he would like to go on record in support of this project. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. And I'll make you a panelist. And I have no additional raised hands at the moment, Madam Chair.
Thank you. With that, may I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval.
Is there a second?
Second,
Mr. Stenbridge?
yes.
Ms. Better Brazza?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion carries. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Next, we have case BOA 1616914 with the address of 51 Wyman Street. If the applicant and or their representative are present, would they please explain to the board?
Yes, my name is Adam Ritchie. Excuse me for my hoarse voice. I'm representing my clients, Josh and Miriam Ozer of 51 Wyman Street. The purpose of the project is to add an office space and a bathroom into the existing basement to allow them to work from home more comfortably. The violation of the project is the FAR. This project does exceed FAR for the neighborhood. So that is what we're hoping to get approved.
Thank you. Questions from the board?
Yes, if you could just let me know the door inside the new office, does that door lead to outside?
Correct.
Okay, great. I don't have any further questions.
Thank you. With that, may I have public testimony?
Madam Chairman and members of the board, for the record, my name is Jeremy Bembry. I'm the Jamaica Plain Community Engagement Specialist for the Office of Neighborhood Services. The applicant has completed the community process, which consisted of an abutters meeting held on July 16th, facilitated by myself. The meeting was lightly attended. No inquiries, concerns, or opposition was voiced during the meeting. The project then went before the Civic JPNC, Jamaica Plain Neighborhood Council, where they voted unanimously for approval. We've not received any letters of opposition or support. Thank you for your time, and the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services would like to defer to the board for their judgment at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Jeremy. And I have no additional raised hands at the moment.
With that, may I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion, a motion of approval with a proviso that there'll be no building code relief be given.
Is there a second?
Second,
Mr. Stenbridge,
yes.
Ms. Better Brazza.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion carries. Good luck.
Thank you all very much.
Next, we have case BOA 1603914 with the address of 990 to 996 Dorchester Avenue. If the applicant and/or their representative are present, would they please explain to the board?
Okay, Kevin Gonzalez, so the representative, are you on? Can you raise your hand? Okay, I do see a raised hand. Oh, you can unmute yourself.
How you doing?
Oh,
Sorry. How you doing?
Good evening.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Council of the Board. I'm Kevin Gonzalez, the owner of the Muncie Station at 996 Dorchester Ave. I was just trying to, we serve fast food service. We're looking to do a takeout license as our space is very small for dining. We've received numerous support from our local neighbors, and we just wish to serve the community.
Thank you. Are there questions from the board? Hearing none, may I have public testimony?
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the board. Regarding 996 Dorchester Ave, our office will defer to the board's judgment. My name is Eva Jones. I'm with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. A community process was conducted, including an abutters meeting held on June 5th of this year, where it was attended by one constituent. The primary feedback was that this constituent enthusiastically supported the proposal. He was very excited about a new restaurant in the area. Additionally, the proposal was reviewed with Columbia Savin Hill Neighborhood Association. The association also expressed overwhelming support for the proposal. They voted 12 in support, none opposed. At this time, the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services would like to defer to the judgment of the board. Thank you for your support or for your consideration and time.
Thank you.
thanks, Eva, and I have no additional raised hands.
With that, may I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval.
May I have a second?
Second,
Mr. Stenbridge,
yes.
Ms. Better Brazza.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion carries. Good luck, sir.
Thank you very much.
Next, we have case BOA 1585024 with the address of 14 Hancock Street. If the applicant and/or their representative are present, will they please explain?
Ayaz, I know, hold on. Gonna send a request to unmute you.
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Hi, you guys can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Hi, my name is Ayaz Shah, and I'm the owner of 14 Hancock Street and the place named Gyro Hub and Halal Grill. And we are looking for a license, and to open the place, and from 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. And those will be the operational hours, we're requesting. And that's it, and we want to have takeout, and the place is kind of very small, so we might be able to just put like a couple of chairs, so mostly, we would like takeout.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Hearing none, may I have public testimony?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the board. It is Eva Jones again with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. An abutters meeting was held regarding 14 Hancock Street on July 8th. They did also was attended by about 8 constituents. Some concerns were expressed about the closing hours, but the applicant did amend his application and his closing hours to be more amenable with the constituents. The applicant did also go before Jones Hill Civic Association, which supported the proposal as well. At this time, the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services would like to defer to the judgment of the board. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eva, and I have no additional raised hands.
With that, may I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval.
I have a hard time getting back to it when I do that.
Is there a second?
Second,
Mr. Stenbridge,
yes.
Ms. Better Brazza?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion carries. Good luck, sir.
Next, we have case BOA 1600852 with the address of 10 Brewer Street. If the applicant and or their representative present, would they please explain?
Steve, if you're on, you're unmuted. I'm sorry, you're on mute. You can unmute yourself.
You're still muted, Mr. Cohen.
I tried to unmute him, Madam Chair. It's not working, but okay,
Yeah.
there you go. Go
There
ahead.
you go.
Hi.
Please proceed.
Yes, we have applied for a curb cut at 10 Brewer Street. My husband and I live across the street where we've raised our kids. We purchased the house and have renovated it and about 4 years ago. And we have gone through the steps to obtain the curb cut and have met with both the Jamaica Plain Neighborhood Association and the Jamaica Pond Association without opposition and have submitted a plot plan, and we have secured approval from our abutters without opposition there. So we are now taking the next step and coming before the ZBA.
Thank you. Are there questions from the board?
My only question is if we heard from BPD on the front yard parking.
You mean BTD? I don't know.
BTD. Or it could be BPD as well. I know we have the recommendations, but we didn't really comment on the front yard parking. Either or in terms of agency feedback, if they're online, that would be great.
I'm guessing neither of them is online, and I don't recall BTD feedback. I don't know if one of you two.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
So then I think there's no specific issue.
City or way, someone had asked that we take photos of homes on our street with similar configurations and parking that had been approved, and we did do that. And submitted those photos as part of the application.
So you already have a parking spot there, is that correct? And it just needs it needs an actual curb cut to go with it?
Correct.
Or,
I mean, you could, well, we don't, frankly, being a bit naive to it, we did originally have cobblestones put because we were doing a patio behind and extended the cobblestones to the front, creating what essentially was the parking spot, which we did use for a time. And then we got a ticket on it and we were like, oh, okay, we can't win. And we knew, by the way, we were applying for the curb cut anyway, but we have not used it as parking since that time. So it's been some months since then. And, but yes. And then at that point, when we went through the neighborhood associations along the way, it was requested that we submit photos of houses on the street and some of them with similar configurations.
Yep, and we can see it on.
So that's part of the application.
Madam Chair, the comments from BTD were that that this should work well, basically. That that obviously needs a curb cut, but where the spaces should work well.
Understood.
Norm, you said that was from which agency again?
From
Yeah.
BTD, Boston
He's right.
Transportation.
Yeah, I think we.
Okay, great. I'm
missed
glad
it.
you got that feedback.
Thank you. I think we just missed it. Appreciate it. Any
Madam
other
Chair,
questions?
the
From
exact wording from BTD was, although we usually don't allow one space per cut, this plan is okay since there's no parking on this side.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm currently looking for the BP recommendation.
Well, theirs is approval, but I don't think they elaborate.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think what is to be noted is I do see that there's on Google Maps, I do see a car, I do see on-site pavement for a parking space. I see a fence right in front of it, but there is no curb cut. So it's kind of interesting that you've been parking your car with a curb on there. What I think is important is to see the other neighboring structures that do have very similar condition. We typically don't provide approval for front yard parking, but given that it seems like it's an existing condition, it's been being used as a parking space, and your adjacent structures have very similar parking kind of condition, I think is probably okay.
Okay, with that, any public testimony?
Madam Chair, members of the board, for the record, my name is Jeremy Bember. I am the Jamaica Plain Community Engagement Specialist for the Office of Neighborhood Services. The applicant has completed the community process, which consisted of an abutters meeting held on May 30th, facilitated by myself. Very few abutters attended the meeting. Of those that were present, no questions, comments, or concerns were raised. The project then went before the Civic JPNC, Jamaica Plain Neighborhood Council, who did grant approval for the project. Currently, we have not received any letters of support or opposition. Thank you for your time. In the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services would like to defer to the board for their judgment at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeremy. And I have no additional raised hands.
Okay, with that, may I have a motion?
Again, because there's precedent on the street, I'm going to move forward with a motion of approval.
Is there a second?
Second,
Mr. Stenbridge,
yes.
Ms. Better Brazza.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion carries. Good luck, sir.
Thank you so much.
Next, we have case BOA 1614441 with the address of 66 Farquhar Street. If the applicant and/or their representative are present, please explain to the board.
Yes, Mr. Stenbridge. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Attorney Justin Burns of Pulgini and Norton, business address 10 Forbes Road, Braintree, Massachusetts. I'm here on behalf of project proponent Cronin Dempsey, and also with me today is project architect Chris Drew, who will go over the plans. Just a quick overview. This is a proposal to change the occupancy of an existing property at 66 Farquhar Street in Roslindale. The existing property is a 3-story single-family dwelling. This proposal would change occupancy from a single-family to a 2-family. In order to accommodate this change, the proponent plans on constructing a 3-story addition at the rear and 2 dormers on the 3rd floor roof, as well as a 2nd floor porch. They propose renovating the existing unfinished basement into living space, and all told, these changes would add 1,882 square feet of living space to the building for a total size of 3,765 square feet. The unit mix would be as follows. The unit 1 would be the basement and the 1st floor. That would be 3-bed, 3-bath at 1,554 square feet. Unit 2 would be the 2nd and 3rd floor, and that would be 4-bed, 3-bath, 1,749 square feet. Now I'll pass it off to Chris to just go over the plans briefly for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. So next slide, please. As you can see, we're gonna have 2 off-street parking spaces in the garage itself, in the existing garage. The rest of the space will be open green space. We are doing a small addition at the rear of the property. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So the basement plan is on the right. Again, it's going to consist of a master suite in the basement, along with an additional bedroom. 1st floor on the left will have a bedroom in the front, open kitchen, living, dining in the back. There will be a secondary egress for both the 1st floor, unit 1, as well as unit 2. Unit 2 is that hatch in blue. So that stairs heading to the 2nd floor. Next slide, please. So the second floor is on the right-hand side. We're gonna pull the existing bay up that's on the front of the building onto the second floor. Again, be a similar type layout to the unit one below, an open living, dining kitchen on the second floor. And on the third floor, we'll have three additional bedrooms, including master suite. Next slide, please. So again, the front elevation, we're gonna pull the first floor deck up onto the second as well, the front porch, as well as the bay, and do some hardy plank siding and hardy shingles on the front to break up the front. And then you can see the new dormer on the third floor. Next slide, please. Then the rear elevation is on the right-hand side, and then the left side elevation on the left side of the page. At this point, we'll open up to any questions, comments, and
Okay, are there questions from the board?
Madam Chair.
Madam Ch-
Go ahead.
Norm.
No, go ahead, Norm.
For the
ahead, Mr.
basement,
Sturbridge.
for basement, we saw a window. Is there another means of egress from the basement?
yes, there'll be all egress windows and stuff. And it's also important to note too that very unusual for a basement. The basement itself, as it exists, it has a ceiling height of about 8'10", which is extremely unheard of. But this will have full egress windows and all that stuff in the basement.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Better-Brazza, did you have a different question?
Is there a reason for the expansion? Is it a growing family? Why the request?
Well, it fits within the context of the neighborhood with the zoning and use, and the site has been relatively underused. And if you were to drive by it, it's just in need of a fix up, and the owner figures that be able to expand housing in the area while fitting within the context of the neighborhood is a good thing to do. And they're going to be home ownership units, so good to add to the housing stock and add to some home ownership opportunities.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
And what are they now? Is it rental, used as rental right now, or also condo?
I'm actually unsure of what the current use is, other than that it's single family.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from the board? May I have public testimony?
Madam Chair and members of the board, for the record, my name is Jeremy Bembury. I am the Roslindale Community Engagement Specialist for the Office of Neighborhood Services. The applicant has completed the community process, which consisted of an abutters meeting facilitated by myself on July 2nd. During the meeting, only inquiries were made and addressed with no voiced opposition at that time. The project then went before the civic group LANA, Longfellow Area Neighborhood Association, who did take a neutral stance. The project was approved to move forward. Currently, we have no letters of opposition or support. Thank you for your time, and the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services would like to defer to the board for their judgment at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, and we have no additional raised hands.
Okay. With that, may I have a motion?
Given that the project is in a 2F 5,000, I see the addition of another unit to be working within the zoning requirements. For these reasons, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval.
Is there a second?
Second,
Mr. Stenbridge,
yes.
Ms. Better-Brazza.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion carries. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Have a nice night.
Okay, with that, I will see you all at the next hearing.
Good night.
Thank you.
Have a good
Good night.
evening, folks.